Gửi cho Tín mới nhắn tin cho Tín rồi. Tín đọc rồi.
Thế hả?
Chút xíu gửi hình. Đang ngồi uống bia. Captain đại tá Mimi
Tuấn xuống dưới
pick up đó.
khu này đó hả?
Dạ.
Hôm qua Tín
Đây
có phải
bác.
Tín xuống khu này không?
Hôm qua không ạ. Hôm qua là Tín ở nhà.
Cái này là Naval Station.
Hôm qua Loan chở tới đó phía dưới. Dạ, đi qua phía dưới xuống đó.
Đây có cả tàu của Coast Guard nữa nè.
Excuse me, what's the best way to get to McCain?
The McCain?
Mhm.
Follow this road and it'll take you over to the
You go, you see me? To your right, look to your right.
To my right.
Right.
To your right, there you go.
Yeah, there. Turn
No,
right.
no,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Geez, you should have said slow down. There's a huge bump there. Okay, talk to you a
I
bit.
think. Yeah.
So, chàng đó là
Dạ.
luật sư.
À.
Đó phải Chris Van phải không?
Dạ không ạ. Chris Fan với lại anh chàng này trong hội quân cho Mỹ Bắc Việt là có hai luật sư là he's one of them. Bring it all of them and bring all the plaque, okay?
You should be able to park in one of the reserves spots, but if not, park right there.
Okay, I'll do over here.
Tín là cháu của tôi. Lúc mà nhỏ tôi biết
Nè, cầm.
Yeah. Wow. Xuống tàu đó. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, good. You're very handsome today.
Make sure you take your feet up all the way and go down.
Yep.
Ladders with
Okay. Oh, very cool. Oh, Captain.
Hello, how you doing? Hello again. Hello.
How are you, sir? How are you?
How are you doing? Good, how are you? It's actually a beautiful day for tea.
Tôm đang trên tàu nha. Yeah, tôm đang trên tàu.
Sorry.
Hey. Tôm đang đi xuống tàu John McCain.
Me and what's against each other again? Me and what's his name?
Just leaving no room, you think?
Yeah.
Game time.
12:43.
Chú ơi, chú mời qua rồi để chụp với lại mấy bác.
Chiều nay mà chiều nay. Chiều nay mà. Chiều nay mà. Chiều nay mà. Chiều.
Chú làm luôn ha. Giờ một trăm. Cái này nó nhẹ.
Please be New Jersey. Ah, North Carolina. Commodore's in North Carolina. North Carolina.
In there, I think one of the things that what I didn't want to say out on public Facebook was that this whole community that I grew up in, that Matt and I grew up in, that Eric and I grew up in, has absolutely changed in the amount of support and love that, and I use that a lot to actually articulate what is happening within the community. Oh, is it perfect? No, there's always going to be someone complaining about something, right? That's the nature of the Navy. But from the Commodore wanting to fly up if he had a flight, flying up the next day, sneaking himself into the hospital because he just barged in there in uniform. Right? So no, the old volunteer women were not going to just stop him. To be able to sit there, have the conversation, and say to me that, hey, I've talked with Swole Boss, and we're going to keep you in command, keep the change of command on track. Literally the next day after I had that stroke was beyond words, right? You know, for those in the Navy command, we know that the continuity of command and command itself is so important because of the fact that if you that's why you have XOs, you have the senior watch officer. If something happens, you have something to continue command on the ship to lead the sailors. And I will tell you, Cam, where are you? Oh, Cam's over there. XO absolutely led the team, took on the responsibility way earlier in his ride as XO than he would normally did, and which will absolutely benefit him when he takes over in 18 months, and he will be the CO that takes this ship on a normal deployment. It's a 5th Fleet, 7th Fleet deployment. Right, I took the ship with my predecessor on deployment for 7th Fleet deployment. That's we hung out in, as the Commodore said, South China Sea, you know, racing the PRC up and down the, the straits or on the other side, showing that American engineering far surpasses the PRC. That's not like a classified thing. But it was amazing to do that. But I'll tell you, I couldn't have done that without some of the support of the people present here. And I gave some of the gifts earlier, but I wanted to kind of hand out some here. to do that. I gave Chang his earlier, so he put his away. But I want to call out Stowe. Come on up here. Jashawn, where are you? Hopefully you're not hiding somewhere. Yes, I have been accused. Of having. I have the most protected dog on this street. Right? Noe and I are never afraid that we will ever be robbed because this dog will either wake up or bark at somebody. Jashawn, I know the SRA is not done yet, but you got a month left and you got a lot on your shoulder, which is all of the combat systems, SOBOTs, and getting all that. Because without you, without those systems, the ship is literally not getting underway. Right? Chang, MTA, and Brian have done all of they can from the engineering side, but the GPNs is the basic heartbeat of the systems is everything that you own, and you made as a SMO, you've made this SRA. I don't know. I really don't know if we can replicate it. I hope we can, and it's all because of your efforts each and every day. I know I give you a lot of crap about being an ICC, but I'm so glad you went LDO. Thank you so much.
Nav 1, Nav 3.
There's someone else you can call for it.
That's true. See yourself.
Leon, come on over here, shipping. See, now that your mentee got his award, I wanted to bring you here. This is Leon is our main propulsion assistant. Also, I jokingly call Jashawn's mentor because he took Jashawn through season as a chief.
Great.
One of the things that while I was laying in the hospital, getting back up to being able to walk again, learn how to walk and do the stuff, the engineering department under Chang and MPA started their A1, A2 for the light-off assessment. For the non-Navy, that's where you test all of your engineering plants and systems. You come through all the administrative reviews and then eventually get to the M1s, M2s, which is where you light off the equipment. They made so much progress in the A1 to A2, the administrative checks, and did so well in it. They are 54% done in that assessment, and they still got like 3 more events to go. Right, the only thing that limited 2 more events, right? 2 more events to go. The M1, M2, the official light off, and the only reason why they couldn't light off was because of the fact that we actually have no gas. And they literally just took fuel last Monday, right? We joke about it, but if there's a fuel spill, as CEOs know, when there's a fuel spill, we're ultimately accountable to the EPA, right? So I tell Chang every time when we take on gas, you are burning potentially Lillian Daniels' college fund, right? And so I'll tell you, after the Avail, all that time, absolutely an amazing and safe refueling. 54% of checks that didn't even have to be done at that time, ahead of schedule. Working your relationship with NASCO through Brian's team on the deck plate side to not have to send sailors to go do things that they normally would have to do because of the amazing work that NASCO did help us to get there. And I want you to present this over to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
In the twist of life and how we are all connected in the 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon, Leon was on the USS Blue Ridge a month after I left the USS Blue Ridge as a deck seaman. He was a fireman, so we know literally the same people. We reminisce a lot.
That means I'm young.
Yeah, like old times.
That's what that means.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oops, sorry, a little bit. Where is my cousin Tom?
Tom,
Tom, come on over.
It's me.
You've heard a little bit what I talked about earlier this morning. This very successful and talented businessman. You know, have you guys heard that the Lieutenant Kim, right, the one who's a doctor, a CEO,
Astronaut.
an astronaut now, and everything that he's like the number one dream of a Asian parent, right, to do that. Well, I will tell you, this gentleman right here, you know, with the exception of being in the military, is hairdresser. When he first got to Australia, when he resettled there, right? He first went to Thailand, was over in Thailand when he escaped from Vietnam for 6 years. They sent him back to Vietnam. Said he was not a political refugee, he was an economic. Fortunately, Australia allowed him to resettle into Melbourne. Went there, worked his way up from hairdresser, nighttime, worked as a kitchen help, to where he's at right now. Owns 2 restaurants, owns land in Australia that raises Aussie beef and free range chicken to sell. Has his own pilot's license, flies, is an artist. I'm Facebook friends with him, so I see him fixing like all these amazing statues of Jesus and all the other religious people in there that they send to him to fix. He plays piano, plays all these instruments, and here I am. I can only be a CEO bishop. Tom, I want to present this to you so you can take this back to Australia and hang it up in your restaurant and let the Aussies know of us in America. Thank you so much. Chitui. Sorry guys, I promise we'll get through this so we can get to the food. I met Chitui now, how many years now? Probably 7 years ago. Her husband was in the Vietnamese RVN Army. Then he was a doctor also. He a major in the Army. He came to America and then joined the U.S. Army. Right? So he's one of the rare ones that was still young enough in his when he escaped Vietnam to come here and then join the U.S. Army and to serve the country, to give back for all of the blessings that America has. I get it that some days the things that tear us apart, but I'll tell you the fabric that ties us together is the desire to see our country succeed, to give up everything and to repay it back. And her husband absolutely does that. And so she's, every time I see her, she's like an older sister to me. There's a lot of you'll see they're all like family to me. It's because of the fact that, and I know she was very teary-eyed yesterday when she showed up to see me walk, because her husband also went through a stroke. And I know that was important for her to see that. Thank you so much, Chief. To that, Mr. Hindu over here, strike group 10. It would have been better if you had a strike group 9 t-shirt, but I'll forgive you. This distinguished, also talented gentleman, joined the Navy as an ex-seaman, just like I did. Somehow was lucky to strike JO back then, which is now an MC, which is mass communication, like photographer and writing articles. Met a mentor, Master Chief. Right, Master Chiefs for the JOs, they will always be the pillars of your life who will mentor you. Then he got out of the Navy, went to the Air Force Reserve, Air Force, active duty. Then decided that he misses the actual real military. Came back to the Navy, got a law degree, which I don't know why, because that's overachiever here. And then in the Navy, he became a PAO officer. He works now as a USCIS, which is U.S. Immigration Service supervisor, right? The people who do like immigration interviews, right? Like when you can't get the U.S. citizenship. Right? So I want to say thank you so much, because of that we've known each other since 2009.
Yes.
And in command, when I had some PAO questions, or even when anything else, the ability to always chat with him to get advice. And thank you so much. right. Yu Tao, where are you? My personal pharmacist, one of many. So Yu Tao and I have known each other since 2009. She's a huge supporter of the U.S. military. The reason why I met her was her and her ex, a friend of ours, and then her ex-husband. They put together a thank you veterans event for the Vietnam vets, American Vietnam vets event that was in Houston. A huge event with a gigantic parade, all donated by within the community, because she helped organize that to show our American soldiers and all the military vets how we appreciated within the Vietnamese community their sacrifice in Vietnam. And she's here today. Yesterday, thank God she came, because she saw me. The first thing she said is like, "You need to go lay down. You look pale." And she adjusted my meds for a little bit here, so I can actually get through today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Jilan. So Jilan, every one of these, like I said, is like family, because we've been that close. Her husband is a lieutenant colonel in the Army. He could not make it up here. Some he caught some sinus problems, so he couldn't make it here. But he actually had command up here, oddly, in the Army. He recently retired from the Army. But Jilan, when Noi and I just had Lily, which seems like years ago now, right? It was ancient. She was the one to be there to help us through what does it mean to raise a kid? What does it mean why is Lily crying the way Lily cries? Or why did Lily decide that she only sleeps in the daytime and decides nighttime is the time that she wants to go and sing, right? Or whatever she does, right? But always supportive. Every time that we come to Orange County, we come stay with her, because of the fact that the love that she has for Noi and I and the kids. And thank you so much. And Chief, where are you at? Chibang, did he go get update? Thank you so much for coming up. I know that you had a busy schedule. Retired. I was asking him, I was like, what are you doing in retirement? He actually does have a real job working for the city, right? The county. And I met him through Mimi. I've been tracking your career and your retirement, and the ability for you to take all that and say, hey, yep, I'm going to fly up here today to be up here to help us through. Thank you so much for being a big brother. Thank you. Back here.
Bác Thiện bác lên.
I apologize.
I'm too old for this.
You need it at all.
My the Commodore referenced him. Last class to actually commission. There was a class after him. Wait, you're the last class or the second class?
Yeah.
You were to actually commission. There was another class they did not commission when when South Vietnam fell. I'll tell you, when I joined the Navy, he was the first one to be very supportive of them, and had been tracking my career all this time, and very proud of what I have done. And I wouldn't be here today, if I didn't have the encouragement. Because I'll tell you, I came in as deck seaman, and life was hard, And each time, we'll have the conversation about where I'm going, what I'm doing, and in the command, going into command. I know that was important to him, just as it was for my parents, to see that I was able to go into command, but not only command of any ship, the USS John S. McCain. I told Cindy McCain when she went to the ship on the 25th anniversary, I was like, I wish that I had met the senator before he passed, because I know he would have gotten a chuckle that, those years he spent in the Hanoi Hilton, and now finding out that, you know, his ship of his grandfather and his dad is now being commanded by a Vietnamese American who he served alongside and who sacrificed the prime of his youth in prison for. I would have made him proud to be able to see that. But that generation is what I want to say thank you to. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You just have to accept this for Willie. Because he's not here, since he decided to go down to San Diego to enjoy the sketch conference. Shannon's husband is the AOPS on board the ship. I will tell you that without her husband being the backbone and also being a spell checker, when there was a little bit lack of leadership in that department, he stepped up to be able to get us going and keep us going and keeping us on schedule, keeping us know where we're going, working with the team to basically step in as the operations officer. We're successful in different parts, as you see the success, whether in engineering, we're in combat systems, we're success across the ship because of Willie. And I didn't know that he realized that he was sent down there to do that, because I think that was a short notice change. So I wanted to, instead of not giving it to him, I wanted to give it to you, to give to him, to hang up in the room. You guys they recently had a baby, which is right there. the community baby is everyone is holding on to, and I know that I wish you the best. We'll be here, so at some point to bring the baby over and we'll be able to watch it. I'm not doing anything. So, but Shannon, thank you so much on behalf, and please get that to Willie. All right, I think that's enough talking. Thanks, Jake.
No problem, sir.
Thanks. When I got into command, I told Jake, I was like, if I ever go off somewhere, he has the right to come and say, so you're going off. Please enjoy the food. The papers over here. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Where is it?
It is in the closet. In the middle closet. He gave me a gift, so I apologize. I apologize, Chang. I apologize. Give me a second. He made something that I want to honor. Let me go make sure that you know which one.
Okay.
Yeah.